Hey, what up, everyone? This is Eddy04, and today we're trying to do something kind of different. It's kind of off topic, but you know that I've been talking about streaming and stuff like that. So today I want to be upgrading my fly kit, and I'm going to show you my fly kit in a couple of minutes. It's supposed to be installed somewhere over there. So I'm going to be working on that in a few minutes, but just wanted to talk a little bit about the plan for today. So I do have a fly kit that has an A10 Mini Extreme ISO, and I have a couple of things within that fly kit. And little by little, I've been upgrading it so that I can get it to the point where it actually is usable, to the point that it saves us time from setting up everything together. So usually I would have uh, probably like 4 hours to set up things prior to an event. That means that I have to do is set up the cables, the computers, everything. Uh, but now with the fly kit, we've reduced those 4 hours to about 50%, so to about half. So now it takes maybe 2 hours, more or less, to set everything together. But then after that, it gives us enough time to at least start testing and validating or verifying the connectivity and everything else. Before, everything was kind of rushed because I had to set everything together, and then I had to either bring a team. Sometimes I would be by myself, so it was very hard to keep everything under control. But now with the fly kit, I can actually have a better event set up prior to actually starting the show. So this fly kit has multiple iterations, and I'm going to show you in a minute because I'm going to switch over to where I have the fly kit, and I started removing some stuff. Probably you saw a previous stream where I had I was disarming or taking out a couple of cables that I had there before. And I think you saw it in the previous stream where I removed a lot of cables. I switched over to a shorter span cable, so it's about like 1.5 feet or 3 feet cables, which are super thin, extra small. That's what I started doing, right? So those were a little bit of cleanup because that case was very difficult to manage or work through it. So I started prepping some stuff together so that I could make a little lighter fly kit, right? So by the way, now in this stream, you can go ahead and ask me anything about gaming, streaming, production, and I'm willing to try my best to give you an answer, or at least point you in the right direction. So, by the way, just to let you know, today I am not using my fly kit because I'm going to be upgrading it or changing a few things in it. So right now I'm using an A10 Mini, a regular one connected to a USB-C connection to OBS Studio. So hopefully this is stable enough. I've been struggling a little with my ISP, so now I switch over and I have about 4.5 megabits per second. So let's see if that is stable enough. So one of the things that I want to do today is adding this monitor. So this is a portable monitor, nothing too crazy, it's really straightforward, simple. I actually had two of them, and I had like some kind of tablets that would hold off the monitors, tablet holders, so that I could put the monitors there, and we would have two monitors, one for the program and then the other one for the multi-view. We kind of shifted from that concept a little because one had more than one monitor. It's good for the technical director, but then it's more troublesome to put together and everything. And then also I was using the portable monitor for other things, and that monitor kind of broke. So the LCD panel kind of is all black and stuff. So this is the only one that I have left. So now I've been working with only one monitor, which, to be honest, this made me realize that probably the second monitor wasn't really necessary, and we could use it for something else. But for now, this is going to be our main monitor, our only monitor, which has the multi-view, and the multi-view will show us everything. Eventually, I might want to have portable monitors, but those portable monitors are going to be for other things, like if I have an additional computer, which I also want to show you. I got a mini PC that I'm planning on installing within the fly kit so that I can have a graphic handler. Now, there are many ways of doing this, but I think I like the fact that the heart of the fly kit is still the switcher, and then the switcher is going to send over everything to the hardware encoder. So yes. So what I did is I got a little tablet holder, but this one is different. The previous one that I had was actually the one that you clip on together. So it hold up at the top and at the bottom. And then it had like a heavyweight base, so you could slide it in. And I had like a shelf for a rack mount, which I'm gonna show you. Just give me a minute. The thing is that was kind of convoluted. I mean, it worked when we started, but I think the setup that I currently have now is much lighter. So the fly kit actually it has wheels, but it's easier to lift, put together, put it on a table, and it works pretty well. And then what I got is actually this here. So this is also a tablet holder, but this one is different. It uses a 3M sticker, and then you flip it over like so, and then you kind of slide it off, and then you use this. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be installing this with some screws into the fly kit, so that way we can always have the monitor already place set in place like so at the front side of the fly kit, without us having to remove it or put it away or anything like that, or have to bend over, open up the base kit for the holder. So the idea is to have this already set up there, one less thing to worry about. And then also when you're traveling, like the monitor and other stuff could move. I mean, I secure it. I put some stuff there to keep it safe. But I think this will make it better. Definitely. Okay, so we're gonna switch over to where the fly kit is. I'm gonna switch over to the other camera so you can see what we're talking about. And I also got these screws. These were not intended to be here, but I kind of measured it out. I put it together. So these screws should help me hold it together in the fly kit. So we're gonna give it a try. So we're gonna take this over here. Put it over here. And hopefully you can still hear me. Over here it's kind of raining, so I'm trying to cut down the gain on the audio. And let's go to our other monitor. So here it is. So this is my current fly kit. And let me just widen up the shot a little bit. My camera battery is kind of low. It's 27%. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. Hopefully we can finish the stream and then jump over to the other one, to the other camera before that. So yeah, so this is what we currently have. And I should have really gotten a better light for this. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me just get a portable light so we can all see what's going on here. Okay, there we go. So I'm back. And probably now this is the proper lighting that we needed. which I really don't know where to put it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and install it about here. Hopefully that will work. Okay, there we go. So I think we have enough lighting for this so you can see what we currently have here. And as I mentioned, so I have my first rack is actually my PDU, and this PDU has all the power, and I'm going to be plugging this in a minute, because we still got to test to see if everything else looks fine, which is the cable that is here at the bottom, which I should be taking out right now. So let's see. That's fine there, we got it. So then here I have my computer, which is in this case is a Mac Mini, pretty old. I have to change it. I actually want to get an M1 or M2 Mac Mini. So if you're willing to donate or support the channel and what we do here, just go ahead and donate or super chat me or anything like that, so that we can get a Mac Mini M1 or M2 for this. And then obviously here, this is another shelf, but this is an inverted shelf with a grid screen in the front, so that way that we could still have breathability. In the back we actually have a fan that pulls out our exhaust, so it pulls out all the hot air and push it out away. But here you can see that I have a couple of things inside, like a switch and some stuff. Interesting that I did not have a rack switch, which now that I think about it, I should have. But my switch is just there. It's a really small switch. And then I also have like a 3 gig LTE modem, which has its antennas there. Anyways, so what we're going to do, we're going to attempt to install this monitor about here, and then just have it sitting there, and that should give us enough space to actually be able to pull this out as well, and it should not affect where the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO is, as well as the Stream Deck. I wanted to pull it a little bit higher, but I'm kind of worried about the Mac Mini button not being able to be pressed, or being able to use the USB port that is in the front. So I also wanted to have like a little racing area here. The thing is that if I want to leave it installed, right, for me to leave this installed, that means that I want to have enough clearance so that it can still close with the monitor installed. So we'll figure that out. But to start, let's get our screws. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you. Yeah? Yep. Can I get a paper towel? Huh? Yeah, we'll have to edit that out of the video. Anyway, so I guess this is a late snack. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay, so obviously the screws can go through, but they can definitely go all the way in. So I kind of got a little bit, a couple of washers here to hold off from they going all the way through. And then I also got a couple of screws. So let's give it a try. I'm gonna flip this over. Try to slide it out. Trying to understand the mechanics. So this is here. Yeah. The good thing about using screws is that I don't lose out on them, because I can always, because this is a grid, I can pull them out and then just move it to wherever I want it to. So this is the idea. Set it up about here. That looks like the middle, kinda, but it should set something like this. and then from the inside, which I'm not really sure how I'm gonna get that through, but from the inside I should be able to tighten it up with a couple of screws. So I'm gonna do double washer. Oh, dropped it. Maybe that is the middle. Hey, what's up, LJ? Hey, thanks for joining in. Okay, so now I'm just trying to get through these. So right now I put in the holder, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and try to put the washers in the back with a couple of screws, and that screw should hold over with the washers that I got. I'm missing one though. Where is it? Oh, there's supposed to be 4 of them. There we go. Yeah, so I'm kind of tight on resources and what I purchased, but that should do the trick. So I'm switching over to the other side. And let's flip this over without losing the current position. So the good thing is that I actually built this with a opening door here, or an exit, so that I could do some maintenance or troubleshooting if I needed to. So it kind of came up handy to have this opening here. So there goes the washer. And then we just need to put in the last nut into this. Now the screw is kind of too long, but that's the only one that they had. Oh snap, I dropped it. That was the only one that they had at the moment. So I went ahead with that. I know I should have gotten a shorter one, but that's what they had. And for some reason, even though I measured it and I purchased the screws accordingly, they're not going through. Okay, there we go. Or not. Yeah, I'm kind of having a hard time right now. I think we got it true now. Yep. So pretty much this is a DIY fly kit. I didn't get any of these things pre-built or anything like that. I had to put everything together to make it work. So obviously the things that are racked, those were supposed to be that way. This wheeled case is from Gator. and already had the racking bracket, so that's a win. And then what I just needed to do is put together rack mountable things, so that they would rack mountable pieces, so that I could put them together in the rack. So for example, oh boy. So for example, I have in the back I have a back plate that actually has the HDMI inputs, and I'm going to be installing also some SDI inputs, so you'll see them in a minute. So that was the only thing that is kind of already, built for it, but everything is kind of custom in some way. Like I had a friend, he cut a couple of shelves from the metal brackets so that they could fit, and I could hold my other tools inside of this. Pretty impressive, huh? Doesn't look bad. So that's the washer, and now we need to just put in the nut on the screw. And we are in. So right now I'm not using any kind of pincers or anything like that to hold it together. I'm just tightening it up with my thumb. But eventually I want to put it tighter with a pincer and a screwdriver. So let's see how it looks now that we have the screw and the holder installed. So now it looks like so. This obviously needs to get tighter, but for now it kind of works. It just simple screws. It has a washer in the back and then another washer on the other end, and then the nuts. So now in theory, if I didn't mess this up, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah, I just need to get tighter in the back, but this is the whole idea. It's not really centered, but I think it works. So not that bad. So now we need to find a way to get it tighter. But I think it worked. Oh, obviously this is not tight enough, as I was mentioning. So I'm going to get a screwdriver, put it together, and let's see if we can hold it tight enough so that it won't wiggle. And I was thinking that probably if I had another material just to lift it up a little bit, enough so that we can have enough space from here. So I think I know what I'm going to use. Just hold me a minute. By the way, let me know if you can hear me though. So I'm yapping and talking, and I don't really know if you guys can hear me. So I'm thinking of using this material. So this a foam from, I don't know, something that I bought, and these here are kind of rigid. It's similar to what I purchased to set up the base here for holding the Stream Deck and the A10 Mini. I'm probably cutting this off a little bit, opening a couple of holes, and then having having the screws go through this, and then this should give me enough height so that it can be separated from the rest of the plate. So I'm actually getting a little blade here right now, and this blade should help us create enough separation. I mean, initially I was intending to use like a cardboard or something, but I think this foam will do the trick pretty well. So I'm getting myself a little blade right now. Yeah, so here's what we need. And here's the pincer and the screwdriver. So to be honest, I just need a little piece. Ooh, this cut's really smooth. Okay, that wasn't that hard. So this works. Yeah, it doesn't need to be perfect, but this is too high, right? So I'm going to cut it to the half. I'm going to cut it to the half, and then let's see if that one works for us. Yeah. I think the half is just perfect. So we're going to try this again. So I have to take these out, bore a hole. And then since we already got here to the middle, let's see where it actually works. So maybe shifting it 2 screws to the left. So yeah, so we gotta unscrew this again. And let's just take a little snack break. Okay, enough. Okay, so we're going to move it 2 steps to the left. I'm going to attempt to add a layer of this little foam here into the front plate. they just have 18% battery. So let's see if we can get this through and then go back to the other camera. And this does require a little bit of patience because the screws are too long. But to my advantage, because the screws are too long, I can use a spacer like this foam here. I wish I could show you inside, like you could see what I have inside. But here it is, a washer and a screw. I mean, and a nut. And then we're gonna just go ahead and remove the other one. Good thing I didn't really tighten them up, because it would be crazy not trying to remove it now. So. There we go. It's almost out. Okay, let's see. Oh, the other half already came out. I didn't even realize. And there goes the washer. So now I'm missing a washer though. And I found the washer. So that's good. So this is the piece that we're going to be using. Yeah, it's foam, so it doesn't really need nothing too fancy. Just press it through. So now it's a tighter fit. We still have a little bit of space. So that little space that we have left here is what we're going to use for the other washer and the nuts that go through the screws. Okay, so we're going to try and set them up again using the washer and the screws. We'll see in a minute how it looks. As a matter of fact, using the little foam, okay, so that's some progress. We got one through. You're going for the other one. So that's the washer. I know. This stream is actually seeing my back, but still worth it. Please don't drop the screw. There we go. I think this time now we have a tighter fit. Let's turn this around. And there we have it. Actually a cleaner, looks like tighter look. I have to tighten it up a little bit more. Well, the whole idea is that you slide this like so. I already see some flaws in this setup, but the whole idea is that this should stay fit and not have to move it anymore. Oh, and I popped something, I think. So this is how it should stay. It's not fitted enough, so I have to tighten it up a little bit. But this is the whole idea. It just stay like so. And then when we cover it, it shouldn't have any issues. So I think this will work. Let me get a cover. Let's see if that cover is going to actually go through without any issues. So let's see if this cover actually works. Yep, it actually goes through without any issues. Okay, so now we need a tighter fit. I don't think it's going to be easy to have a tighter fit with that big old foam there, but we'll see how we make it work. Yeah, it still wiggles a little bit, but that is because it doesn't have a tight fit. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna hold this one here. Maybe I do need to put it sideways. Guess I tend to lose sight of okay, these pincers are kind of old now, so it's kind of hard to sorry guys, I can't see. Okay, let's go. Okay, so in theory, now we have a tight fit. Let's see how it sits now. And the whole idea is that we set this up and we don't have to move it again. We don't have to touch it, we don't have to move it again. There we go. So now it's secure. I mean, it shakes a little bit, but I think is where I want it to be. So now we're going to plug it in. Let's see if it works the way we want it to. So the whole idea is that we're going to leave this all plugged and connected. We're not supposed to be touching or moving this again. It's going to look like so, and let's power it on. So this is how the flyco looks, and if we power it on, looks like so, and in a few minutes we should have, there we go, the ATEM showing up with the multi-view. And it fits just well that in theory we don't need to do much. I know it's not super straight as I would want it to be, now that I think about it. But it's straight enough. Initially I was thinking about it like a vessel mount and then just have it installed there, but just decided to do something lighter. I think this works. What do you think? So that's that. The next step, or the next upgrade that I wanted to do, is actually adding this BNC connectors to the back, and I'm going to show you the back in a minute. But in the back plate, I already have HDMI inputs, which they're routed into the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. I just want to go ahead and add this BNC because I'm switching over from HDMI to SDI. To be honest, working with HDMI, it's consumer connectors, and that consumer medium it works, but eventually when you get into a little bit more professional connections or professional production, you want to stray away from HDMI. One, it's not secure enough. Two, the bandwidth is not the same. You can't really go long lines with HDMI. You can go at least up to 35 feet, and then if you want to go beyond 35 feet, then you got to get a little more creative, like using fiber HDMI, which I've been using a fiber HDMI for a while now, but those cables are so fragile. They can easily get broken. You need to switch them over every so often. Besides that, you can just unplug them. Their connectors just messed up. BNC plugs work pretty well for SDI, and SDI can run longer lines. 300 feet works pretty well. It's secure because they lock into the connector, and then besides that, the signal is just reliable. I would definitely switch over to SDI in a heartbeat, which that's what I'm trying to do, little by little. Unfortunately, the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO is actually HDMI version, and I do not have the money for an SDI version just yet, so that's why I'm going to be using this. And I also got just one. It's an SDI to HDMI converter from Blackmagic Design, but I'm just going to be testing these, installing them in the fly kit so we can run SDI lines here and then convert them from SDI to HDMI to the ATEM Mini. So I also got myself some screws and nuts to install these, but I think I like how it ended up looking with the monitor now. I mean, it's not super steady, to be honest, but I think it suits the purpose, and then I can just easily slide this out, right? This cable is not supposed to be here. It needs to go to the back. And now we have the Stream Deck. I don't know if you can see, but we have the Stream Deck here, and then we have the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO going there. Let me just go ahead and move the camera a little bit so you can see it. And probably I'm going to switch over to battery. I'm going to install this battery in the camera so that we can have more juice. Just bear with me for a minute. So we're going to switch over here. Hey, I'm here. Okay, let me just jump over back to switching the camera and sliding it down. Okay, there we go. So I just switched over the battery in this camera, and now you can see that we have the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, and here's the Stream Deck that we use for switching. So that should do the trick now. So this part is done. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on the Mac Mini here, and what else we want to install inside this fly kit is this GMK Tech. Is a Windows-based computer. It's a mini PC, but we want to be using OBS or any other graphic handler. We can use OBS, we can use vMix, whatever, or just Casper CG, so that we can control the graphics and send them over to the ATEM. I just use OBS because I don't know. I like OBS. It's not as professional as it should be, but I like how it works. It allows me to do a lot of things, and I'm used to it. So, and then I can do a little bit of scripts on OBS and get them to work with a couple of plugins. So I enjoy using OBS. So we're gonna go ahead and install this in the fly kit. We're gonna install this in the fly kit so we can have an additional output which probably is going to be like output 7 or something. Okay. And after this, then I think I'm going to be testing the camera output, but that is going to be a different video instead of the live stream. Let me get the screws. And I wanted to show you the back plate for this, which means I have to turn it over, and I don't think it's going to be able to turn over with the power on. So let's go ahead and power this off. Let me unplug the kit. Slide this in. And this, just sliding this in, this was a trick before. Now with all the cables that we removed, it's easier to move. Yep, it is still kind of heavy, but it's not as heavy as it was before when it had like a shelf, and it had a couple of thick cables, so it had a lot of things. Now is, I guess, bearable is the answer. So check this out. So this is what we have right now. All of these are HDMI. One supposed to be through 8, and then I have the Ethernet. But what I'm going to start doing is, because these are 16, so there's 2, 4, 6, 7, and then these are, I could have been able to fit all 8 of them here. The issue is that I already have installed program here, and I think these 2 are supposed to be program, but I'm going to cut off either one of these HDMIs, because this is HDMI 1 or 2, and usually for the A10 Mini it is recommended to use 1 and 2 for computers, higher frame rate and everything, and then the other ones like from 3 to 8 to use for cameras. Obviously I'm not doing that. I'm using 8 for my Mac Mini, and I'm going to probably be using 7 for the mini PC. I still have 1 and 2 to use for something else, and then I usually use my cameras from 3 to 7, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cameras. Maybe I'm going to limit them to 4 cameras, unless I use the mini PC on HDMI 2, and then I still have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to use for regular cameras. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. Now we have enough juice, 100%, so we shouldn't lose video from this side. So obviously this is higher than a Mac Mini, which means that this doesn't fit on the Mac Mini rack. So I have to find a way just to install this bad boy somewhere here, just to stay there with us during travels without dropping them. I usually use straps, cable straps, to hold them together here. Just that I don't have a permanent setup. But I remember that I had Velcro here, so probably if I just put some Velcros on this, it should allow me to install it without any issues. Maybe put a Velcro on the side and then just pop it in here. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and sit it here, and we are supposed to have, I see 1 power output there, which is number 4. That's what we're going to be using for our mini PC. Eventually I want to clean up a little bit my cabling inside. I already did a little bit of cleanup, but I want to have it like an Anchor extension, so it has like USB-C and other inputs there. I'm currently using it on my desk because I'm testing it out, but probably that's the next thing that I'm going to be installing inside. This fly kit is having that there. That has actually 6 other inputs for power, and then it has 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A connections. So that should allow me to have 6 other devices connected here from 1 outlet. I don't know if that's safe, but at least have other connectors from that outlet, and then when I plug or turn on that one, it will turn on everything that is connected there. just that it's going to take up a little bit more space. So I have to figure out how I want to install that. But the cool thing is that I also have USB-C for power, and I have USB-A for power as well. So I could probably have those D-series USB-C connectors and USB-A connectors here, and just label them for power, just to charge those things here, so I can have like my phone or other devices that just need power, just to be connected through USB. And that's because I'm just getting power there, and then have other things connected to that there. So right now all that I have are connected to individual outlets, but probably everything that is network related, I want to put it into, just for example, I put it all the network related stuff, like I have a router and I have a switch, so probably those, put them in one of those. And then I had like a Y outlet, which I routed over to power on our, like I have a splitter inside, because I had program in the other monitor, as I mentioned before, and then the other program will come out here to the encoder. But I don't think I'm using that much anymore, so I really don't need, I mean, I do need multiple program outputs, so I might need a bigger splitter, but I'm not using it right now, so that's going to change eventually. Okay, let's go ahead and connect this thing. Hopefully I can get there. Yeah, that is a tight fit, bro. Yeah, I think I need an extension for this. I don't think it's gonna fit. I don't even think it's gonna give it enough. It's gonna juice it up to power it on. But there goes that. But I think I have like little pigtails that I can just use for extension. So, and I'm quite certain that in a little shake, that is gonna disconnect easily. Yeah, that is not secure. That is just right there. A little pushing is gonna come out. Yep. Now, I'm not even gonna try. Let me just go ahead and get a pigtail to install that there. And I also need an HDMI output. To go to HDMI 2. The cool thing is that because these cables are just right here, I can plug that out. Oops. And then route it in here. Yeah. Where are you at? There it is. Yeah, let me just go ahead and get a pigtail. Let's see. I think I have a pigtail somewhere here. Those are HDMI. These are the cable straps. This is another HDMI. let's see. Okay, I need a little pigtail. And here it is. Interesting, I only have one left. I thought I had more. I think that's why the anchor extension outlet is going to be clutch for this installation, because I'll be able to have all the things connected inside without having to use this little pigtail. So this is what I was talking about. This is just a regular pigtail connection, which I'm trying to get rid of these now, because even though that is a PDU there, this PDU actually has regular outlets instead of, I think it's P30 connections, which are, the computer ones. And because it has this, these can slide out, which sucks really bad, because when they slide out, when you travel, when you travel, they slide out, and then it's an issue to get it back. Where it's supposed to be. Okay, so there we go. So you got the little pigtail there. You have the HDMI connected to HDMI port 2, and then we're gonna just go ahead and connect this here. And we're going to go ahead and close this out. By the way, these are the screws and nuts that I got, or the screws and nuts that I got. So it's about 1,000 of them here. Supposed to be 1,000, I think, or 100. 100. And then these are for me to be able to install these out here. So I'm also planning on probably moving this a little bit. So I have the SDIs. SDI is supposed to be like just below this. So probably I'm going to move these guys a little bit further so I can have the same count of SDIs. But for now, it's the same amount of video cameras, same thing that I want to have for SDI. So I'm thinking on leaving HDMI here because they are fine for program, but then shifting these guys a little bit more to the middle. So, I don't know, I can just have the SDIs here, so then I can reroute them and properly set them up accordingly. But for now, this is what I have. They just work. But I want to have this a little bit more organized. So sometimes I'm like planning ahead to use the SDI version, so I want to have the SDIs also. But I'm just using what I have for now. So since we're really looking at the back of the fly kit, I know that we need to power on the mini PC. But let's take advantage that we're already in the back. And we're going to go ahead and install at least one SDI. Because I only have one Blackmagic design SDI converter. So this is what we playing with. This is what we're going to be using. So there's multiple ways of installing it. I like to install them behind, like hidden this way. You can also install them outside like this. I don't like this style, so I like to install them from the back. So I'm going to be using this for my camera HDMI input 3. I'm just going to install this here for now. So let's get the screws first. There it is. And then we want to have the nuts right behind. Yeah, sometimes you have to work these kind of blinded, because you can't really see. You have to feel it. But I think we got it. And then these nuts are kind of cute because they have, like in the back, they have a little, I guess, grip. So you can hold them and tighten it up a little bit more with your hands. I think I'm tightening it up. So that is kind of there. I definitely need a smaller pincer. I don't even know if I was really holding it. I don't think so. Yeah, I need to find a better way of holding it. I mean, to be honest, what you want to do is, oh, I lost power there. To be honest, what you want to do is actually dismount this rack. Don't install it the way I'm doing it, and then screw them up one by one, and then you plug in the cables, or you can plug them in before. But that's the deal. There we go. How can I power that one? I really don't know, unless I set it up on the camera. I'm trying out something new. Don't try this at home. No, there's no way I can fit that there. Like I said, don't try this at home. So I don't have an easy way of powering on a camera for that. But hey, we'll see how we make it work. Yeah, I don't think that cable is that long though. Yeah, this cable is not long enough. But at least we can get something out of this. Maybe. I guess that works. So we have a BNC input there. And I think I'm just going to get to that point. We're going to go back, turn on the fly kit, turn on the mini PC that we have there. And then let's figure out to see if we have proper video. We're almost done, by the way. Okay, there we go. So we have this here on already. Still need to leave some clearance for powering on the mini PC. So maybe we need to open this up a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to provide some power again. Turn on the ATEM. Cool. Definitely need to clean that up. But there you go. So GM1K Tech is our mini PC. So there it is. It's powering on. I think I left it with auto login. There it is. So it should auto log into Windows, and there we have it. So now we also need to power on the Mac Mini, which I think it also has the option to auto power on. There it is. I mean, I still need to do a little more cleanup here, but so far I think we have something interesting going on there. What do you think? So that is the, so if I do camera 2, so that's the mini PC that is there, and then this here is our other screen, and we don't have any cameras installed yet. So but the whole idea is to have this configured and set up in this way so that we can take advantage of having that mini PC there with OBS. So I'm going to start configuring that. I'm going to switch over again to our to the other side of the studio, and there we're going to discuss a little bit about how we have this configured. I think I can get multi-view, maybe not, because that Mac Mini really doesn't like doing much stuff. I really need to replace that Mac Mini. It's already in choking point to be honest. It's a 2014 Mac Mini, so I only use the 18 software control, probably one or two little programs that can run a few things, and anything else that I want to do, like video editing or anything like that in this computer, it just chokes. So if I try to see or watch the multi-view through USB or anything like that, is dead. So I still need to get a Mac Mini. I'm planning on getting either a Mac, an M1 or an M2, to become the real heart of the fly kit, and then fiddle with probably having another output with the Mac Mini. I know every time I start adding those things here, they start taking over input space. So another plan is to getting in Video Hub. So the Video Hub, yeah. So the Video Hub is like a little matrix, but those are SDIs. That's why I need an ATEM Mini Extreme SDI, or just have a regular ATEM that has like 20 outputs. But I think we have everything that we need in the ATEM Mini Extreme. So I just need to get an SDI one, and then probably a video hub, a 20 by 20 video hub that will allow us to have multiple outputs through SDI and an input, so you can switch them over and you can reroute them however you want them to. So let me just get the keyboard and the mouse. Which I thought I wasn't going to need, but obviously I do need. I also need to configure this for the rest. So I'm going to be adding all the things that I use here to the description. So this is what I'm going to be using now for this. So now I can I actually want to configure this for the Windows PC as well, but as you can see, I can use it in the Mac computer. So what we want to do is actually have these two computers here. I'm planning on probably adding like a, obviously it don't fit in the bottom, but having like a slider here or something that would allow me to access this keyboard. But this little keyboard here is what helps me control the Mac Mini, and then I can easily just use the Stream Deck to cut between these things. They just work as I want them, and if I'm trying to do other setups. Now right now we're just using a couple of cameras, which is input 8 and 2 for the computers, but this is how it looks when it works. So I think I'm happy with that. Let's go over to the next side of the studio so we can try set up the Mac, the mini PC. Okay, so we're over here, and what we need is by the way, can I hear myself? Okay, there we go. Okay. So, let's see if I can actually get my camera there. Okay, there we go. Let's see. So I use Parsec to remote control my computer. Okay, so I want to share my screen. Oh, didn't I install Parsec already? I thought I did. Mm, I know that there was an option to always start Parsec. What you doing? Hey, what's up? So what I'm doing currently, I am setting up the fly kit. So I'm trying to share Hey, beautiful. Hi there, LJ. I'm trying to set up Parsec to always start up my computer, which is not being detected right now. Parsec is not starting up. So let me see if I can add that output here. So I'm creating an additional uh, oh. You'll see in a minute. I'm trying to put on a new... I'm setting up a new source, and then I am screen capturing, display capture, I guess. And then the other monitor. There we go. Yeah, this is weird, but I think I got it to work. So don't get me wrong, it works. Probably I was just talking and you were not able to hear a thing because I don't have the audio inputs there. So scene number 2. So like I was saying, sorry about that. So now I think I can cut back and forth. Yeah, there we go. So you should have my audio now. So as I was saying is that I already, so I wanted to use OBS. So in OBS, I'm just used to using OBS, but I could use vMix and other tools. But I think this just works for what I want it to, right? I've been learning that, use what works to you, what works for you. And don't try to make it more complicated than what it is, right? Obviously, this is not a high production tool, but works pretty well. So yeah, so what I was saying is that I'm learning to separate the resources or the workload in between different devices. Like I would use them as appliances. So I used to play video games in the computer, and then in that same computer I would have the camera inputs with, I don't know, any capture card like a Camlink Pro or Camlink 4K, whatever, from Elgato. And then I will also have the game there, and I also have OBS and everything, and the encoder. Everything was just working in the same computer. And it could work if you had a beefy computer, but to be honest, that is not as efficient as we think. Like, well, it could work, but I've learned that if something happens to your computer, something crashes, the stream is gone. Everything is gone. So now what I do is I separate the resources accordingly to what I need. So I would have devices or computer or hardware as appliances. Like I would have a computer only with OBS. And if that had to stream, if OBS was going to be my encoder, then only that computer will be doing the encoding. And then I will have another computer or another device doing the gaming. And then probably another device doing the video capture. Well, to be honest, the same computer that has OBS could capture the video, like the camera, and then just put it in. And I don't think that would be too much stress. The problem was playing and streaming on the same computer. But now what I'm doing is, by using an ATEM Mini, I can get all my inputs there, and then that is doing the capturing side of it. So I don't have to put more stress on the computer that will be using OBS. And then just do all the switching. For example, I don't like using the ATEM for streaming per se, because their encoder is just weird. Sometimes it works. It's for me, it's unreliable. But anyways, that's not the point. So yes, I would have the ATEM do all the switching, all the camera, all the inputs. So that is the capture card. And then OBS would only have to get the captured from the ATEM and then just send it over to the internet. That's one way of using it. Like for now, for gaming, I would do that because I have one computer with OBS and then just stream to YouTube, whatever, and that would work. But when I'm doing regular productions, that is not here in the studio, I use a hardware encoder. It's a different one. I don't even use OBS. But then in that case, what I do with OBS is I use it as my graphic handler. So I would have OBS as an input into the ATEM. So then all the video that is being mixed together in the ATEM is going to be sent over to the hardware encoder. That's what I usually do. And then as you can see here, for example, I just added a browser source. So now whenever like for example, this is the beauty of OBS. I could do this with vMix too. But I just integrated this, and obviously after a while I'm going to set it up together so that we can, whatever we see here is going to be inputted back into the ATEM, so that can be another output. So I actually need to have 2 video outputs, I think. And I don't think I can do 2 displays here, because here is only detecting 1, I think. Whew. Sorry. So yeah, I think I would need that timestamp is not the right one. So I would need to have the other HDMI output from this mini PC somewhere else so that I could see the computer on that side, and then this output would be the one directed to the ATEM only for graphics, because what I want to do at the end is do this. I want to do is something like this, full screen. So now whenever somebody chats or something, this is going to be outputted this way, and then I can either, I think for this I can do Luma key. I can Luma key into the ATEM, so that way it would only show us the graphics. The only problem with Luma key is that you need to have a real black. So if there's anything else that is black here in the image or the photo, it can affect or break Luma. So, and I don't want to sacrifice 2 inputs for a key and a filler. So I have to consider what I'm going to be doing with that. So yeah. But so far, I think I like what I got here going on. So this is pretty much what I wanted to do today. So I added the monitor. I think the monitor is just going to stay there. I mean, it's not perfect, but yeah, it's not perfect. Let me just show you. That's how it looks. It's not perfect, but it works, right? It stays there. It's set together. It's fit. For now, I think it's cool. Maybe because I'm using the foam, it wiggles a little bit. Probably if I actually had wood, maybe it would have a better fit. But yeah, I think it's going to stay that way for now. It works for traveling. We have the Stream Deck there, and the only thing that I'm missing is actually having another output for that mini PC. I still have to find a way to install it and just keep it there secure. To have the mini PC there, and that mini PC should be able to get power and video to the ATEM. As I mentioned, I have an Anchor extension outlet, but I don't know if that's going to be viable to install. And then I have like a USB. I got to think this through. But for now, I think we made it, y'all. I wanted to play some games, but I don't think I'm going to be able to play anything right now. I also have a few things that I want to test out. Like I also have the Blackmagic SDI to HDMI microconverter that I have here right now. I don't know why it's not autofocusing, but I want to test this out. So I'm going to be using the camera that we're currently using to see our flight kit. And that is because I want to test out using SDI through HDMI and then send it over the other SDI loop to the backplate. So yeah, throughout a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing some changes to the flight kit, and I'm going to be updating how that looks. But for now, I think we have fulfilled the plan for today. We installed the monitor, so that looks fine. And besides that, we were able to also add just one SDI connector or BNC connector in the back. But I still need to install this, and I probably need to get a little better footprint. Because I also need to install, like this one, this uses this big O power block for this Blackmagic microconverter. So that's gonna be a feat. That's gonna be a crazy attempt there. And then besides that, I think the rest should be straightforward. I had to do a little more cleanup on the cabling as well. But besides that, we got it, man. We're improving in our setup. So now I don't need to move or change where the monitor is anymore. And then I'm going to also change the labeling on what we currently have here. Yeah, I'm seeing how that looks over there. So probably I might return in a couple of days, but using the fly kit as a video switcher instead of using. So I have a A10 mini here, a little one. So I'm using that one there right now. But what I want to do is actually plug all these things to the fly kit, and then the fly kit is going to send over everything to OBS over here, and hopefully that should improve the production, and then we can have a little more. I mean, I've been playing the last few streams that I did. I had the fly kit, but the issue though is that I have a convoluted setup where I have my microphone to this computer, as well as, I mean, like all the audio and all the graphics were set up on this computer here, which is not my regular computer for streaming. And I had to fight between audio and all this stuff. But now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to find a way of either sending my audio that is here, because I don't want to change this setup and connect these things to the fly kit. But I'm going to find a way to send this over probably through NDI or something like that. So that way we can get all the audio over there on the fly kit, and then the switcher and everything has the audio, and then this OBS instance can only just, output to YouTube or Twitch or whatever. I think that's what we're gonna do. My little doggy walking around. Like literally, now that we're talking here right now, I'm just gonna test that out because I think that should work. But I don't have NDI. I do not have NDI, like literally. So I need to send NDI from my computer. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out afterwards, because I know that OBS, like when you install a plugin or extensions, it does require you to restart. That might stop the stream. So I'm going to test it out afterwards. But what I'm planning is probably sending through NDI, whatever I have here, my audio, into the OBS PC in the fly kit. But I thought I did have NDI installed here. Says audio direct. Bring audio in or out of any digital audio workstation that supports Steinberg DST3 plugin. Matrix routing for NDI sources. Remote, bridge, screen capture, studio monitor. Send NDI to webcam apps. Now, I'll have to figure it out afterwards, but I think what I want to do is have the plugin for OBS sending NDI out from OBS, and then inputting that NDI source into the FlyKit PC. So once again, thanks again for watching and joining the YouTube live stream. I am going to finish the stream for now. I'm going to start setting a few things together, and then eventually down the week, probably tomorrow or on Sunday, I might play something, probably Hogwarts Legacy or something else. And when I'm doing that, I should be using the new setup with the fly kit. So thanks again for watching, and see you on the next one. This is Eddy04.